Some time ago, there was this report about some illegal migrants being repatriated to Nigeria. That's those of them that were still alive, amidst other stories, quite pathetic, you might want to add. So on today on the program, we'll be looking at the opportunities in Nigeria amidst the COVID-19 pandemic. What I'm saying is what Nigerians can actually do while sitting back at home, while observing the stay-at-home order, instead of nursing the intention of migrating abroad illegally. This is RARDUJA International, and RARDUJA stands for Re-Educating Africans on the Risks and Dangers of Unplanned Journey Abroad. At RARDUJA, we look primarily at promoting legal migration, that is how people can travel legally either through work or school. And we at the same time try to curb illegal migration, which has caused a lot of terrible things for different families and the country at large. At the same time, we promote entrepreneurship. Yes, so we try to make our people to be more self-reliant and get to look more inwards. I think more of retrospection and introspection to see what they can do for themselves instead of depending largely on what they will gain abroad. So these and many more will be coming to you shortly.
Life is too precious, my brotherly. Oh, yeah. Oh, nah. Say no to a planned journey abroad. Oh, yeah. Oh, nah, nah, nah. Would you save a life today? Oh, yeah. Today, we must change our ways. Today, we must save our own. Kaki no be let down. Make you shine your eyes. Kaki no be let down. If you walk, you go chop. You go chop. Many people then they try to cross the border. After them cross, then they find themselves forgot. If enemy, this kind of thing I never see. Waiting.
National Advisor Engineer Didru, please. I needed to quickly tell us more. When exactly did this program, when did this whole thing begin? How long has RARDUJA been in existence, and what has been their program so far?
RARDUJA actually started about 21 years ago. It was initiated by our president and founder, Honorable Eddie Duru, because he lives in Kassel, Germany. He is a legislator there in Hessen State. And he has seen the problems Africans pass through when they enter into Europe unplanned. He has seen the deaths. He has seen the harsh weather. He has seen so many things about it. And because he is representing foreigners in Hessen State, Germany, they normally bring to his table some of these issues that pertain to migration. And sometimes he found that these people, they just thought that once they cross Italy, enter Europe, everything is settled. And now the case is different. The reason is because they didn't enter with the right documents. So it becomes difficult for them to get job, to get housing, or to enjoy some social benefits. And so because of that, they are being chased because they have illegal papers. So he has seen so many things about this illegal journey. And then he found that when he asked some of them, they tell him, oh, we never knew it was like this. So if somebody has told, they wouldn't have come. So he now decided, okay, it's time we start informing our people that before you come to Europe, you must plan properly. The days of illegal journey, and then when you come, they say, oh, he's a black, let's give him some social welfare, is all over. So we are saying, if you must travel, don't go through the back door. Take the right procedures, go to the embassy, get the right documents, then travel, and you then will be respected. Information is the key. Like you said, they are not informed, or if they are informed, they are partially informed about the journey, because some of these people that recruit them, these smugglers, they just tell them, oh, you don't have money, just give me 400,000, I will cross you over, when you get there you pay me back. And it's all lies, and our people are not aware that these things are all lies. So when we organize seminars like this, we show them documentaries, films of some of those that are traveling abroad illegally and what they are suffering. And some of them also on air, they tell us their regrets. Why? Some of them say, if I knew, I wouldn't have made it at all.
That is why we don't have to wait on government all the time, because this stay-at-home issue, we never foresaw it before now, and that is why one has to be very proactive, so that when you come across certain situation, it won't take you unawares. There are a lot of things we can do, most especially those who are who have this mindset of being creative. That is where the creativity comes in. This stay-at-home issue, when you look at it, it is only those people who are into food production are those people who are allowed to even make sales at this season. So you can do the people who are into baking, who are into confectionaries, household consumables, soaps and all that. These are things you cannot resist. Both the rich and the poor would eat. The rich and the poor will use soap. These are little things you can do for yourself. So those people who are opportuned to be trained in these areas, you see them not even finding it too difficult to put food on their tables, because what we need, the basic Nigerian person now, what he or she needs now is food.
Alright, I guess Engineer Ndu, you are the national advisor of RARDUJA International, and I guess you can advise us on these too. What are those things you think one can do in addition to what Mrs. Ankam has just said to improve themselves? Probably they can also have it as their major source of income at the end of the pandemic. So what are these opportunities you also have in mind?
Let me start by saying that was one thing that made us begin to choose this topic, which is opportunities in Nigeria to ease the economic effect of COVID-19. Now, so many countries are going to go into reception after this time around, and we say we have to come on air and tell our people, because I am talking to you now, some people have packed their bags already and saying after all this saga is over, I'm going. Because just like he said, don't be bad jobs. There are no jobs anywhere. Even in advanced countries now, some people are employed, and now you want to go there with illegal papers and you think you're going to get job, it becomes impossible. So talking about these job opportunities, just like as I just said, we're talking about food, talking about things that are household used, okay? But next is we're talking about farming, okay? Livestock production.
Yeah, I think that's a veritable area.
Yes. Many youths that think they are unemployed now should begin to look at these areas, livestock production, because getting into livestock production and farming, it doesn't take too much money. And we find that some of the money that these people spend on illegal, because for every illegal journey you must pay something. You must always pay something to the smugglers and the traffickers. They spend money. This money they can use to start these businesses in a small scale and grow it. The problem we have with our youth is that they are not ready to make research. They are not ready to look into some things and say what is this, or go and learn a trade, or meet somebody who is already into it and say, please, this is where I am interested in. Can you teach? Can you coach me? They are not ready. They just want quick money. They want a situation where they will just go into a business and in less than 1 year they've already started counting so much money, which is not the case, or which is not so in reality. So we are saying that, please, if you are trying to travel outside this country illegally after now, you are going to be in hell, because every country wants to build up their economy again. That's why we're looking at the opportunities that are in Nigeria after this economic crisis. So you can go into livestock production, you can go into farming, and then there's this issue of people trying to set up daycare centers, okay? You see, if you are good in children, see, the thing about life is, look at the areas where you are good in. There's always a job somewhere. If you are good in taking care of children, you can start with a daycare center. Just tell your neighbors, this is what I can do. From there you grow. I have cases of several of them who started with just daycare centers, and today they are running big schools. So it's time our youth begin to look inwards. There's always opportunity for everybody. Now, also talking about some of these things, you see, there are some jobs that people look to as these are not profitable jobs. They are jobs for people that are not schooled. They are jobs that have no degree, or that have no prestige. But I know of graduates. I know of one we empowered in RARDUJA. We empowered him. He's a graduate. He's into fashion designing, and he's doing good. So they can also go into fashion designing.
Wow, a lot of opportunities out there, and many people are passing by these opportunities without actually taking a second look. Okay, before we open the phone lines, I think I really need to appreciate the sponsors of this very program. the Foreign Affairs Office of Germany, where, of course, our president and founder is Honorable Eddie Duru. We also appreciate Prince E. Duru, KSM, who also, in one way or the other, has been helping to ensure that RARDUJA remains alive and aglow. We appreciate, in a special way, the president and founder of RARDUJA International, Honorable Eddie Duru, and the RARDUJA team members who are also here with me, and the other resource persons who are working tirelessly to ensure that our program becomes a success. All right, don't forget, it's still an hour with RARDUJA at Orient 94.5 FM. And the number to call in if you want to be part of the program remains 0703-126-65797. I take it again, 0703-126-6597. Okay, keep your calls coming in, and we'll be making this conversation more interactive with you out there. Okay, before the calls start coming in, Mrs. Amkam, let me come back to you. Engineer Duru pointed out a lot of things one can actually do, and I'm sure you're an entrepreneur, you are into water production, confectionaries, as well as some other things. How do you think our youths can actually cash in these into these opportunities to better their lives? But before we take that, let's take this call. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. All right, I think we lost that. Okay, so I was asking you how we can actually ensure that our youths, you know, they don't look at the challenges facing. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, good evening to you. What's your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Ezebelo. I'm calling from New.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, my own contribution is we should learn how to make use of our good population. Because I'm very, very touched each time I see our youth being wasteful on the street. I think the government has no package for this youth. They don't have any package at all. Even encouraging this number of youth to stay within the country is also a danger, because there is no job opportunity. There is no other opportunities to encourage them in the country. So it should be a clear call to government to at least cover some policies that will be good for this teeming population. That's my own contribution.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. All right, I think we lost that. So actually, he was talking about government creating opportunities, even when we know that probably this has been a challenge over the period. But before we go ahead, let's. Okay, I think we lost that call coming in. So, Engineer Duru, please throw more lights on what the last caller just said.
He mentioned the issue of government, and I want to say that it's high time we stop blaming government. How long are we going to continue? Okay, how long are we going to continue blaming government? We are saying that you as an individual, you can do something.
All right, you can do something as an individual. Let's take the call. Hello, good evening to you.
I want to do something for you people. My name is Amachi. I'm calling from Amoma, SATMPC. So that's a project in my community, Amoma. Rice project. Rebecca Yedwa is the one that planted the rice project in Amoma. And Amoma is the community in Amoma. So the rice now is hijacked for ordinary people. So that is one of the state projects Rebecca Yedwa is in our community.
All right. Okay. I think yes. I think I can hear you on that. We're actually looking at the program with RARDUJA, and of course the opportunities here in Nigeria. You were talking about the rice farm over there. I think that opportunity has already been created, and the government is looking into that. So our concern now is, what can an average youth do within this period of stay at home in order to ensure that, number one, boredom is killed, and two, the idea of migrating illegally is dashed. So these are things we are looking at. And Engineer Duru, you were saying something.
Yeah, Nigeria has a large population, and so we have a very big market. So let's not start waiting for government, or every time you hear you talk about the government. How many jobs do you think that the government can provide for this large population? So we are saying that let the youth begin to think. When you think right, you act right. What can we do? There's always something that you like doing. You can begin to turn that into money. I mentioned the fact that people like to, there's some people that like children. You can open a daycare center. So whatever you know you can do with ease, that is where your money is. Don't just always wait for the government. I told you that there's a graduate who empowered, and today he's doing well in fashion design, tailoring. If he's supposed to wait for government, you think he's going to do that way? And this guy is really, you see, he has added his education to what he's doing, and he's doing excellently well.
All right, talking about empowerment, I think it's also good to back empowerment up with some trainings. Do you also provide trainings for some of these people you empower?
Personally, we don't provide the technical training, okay, but we do organize leadership and entrepreneurship seminars where we train them on the opportunities and how they can sustain their businesses. But we also liaise with some other NGOs, organizations that do training. That's why I told you that we've made some empowerments, okay? That some of them will say, okay, what can you do? They say this one, okay, where do you want to learn this trade? We go to them and say, okay, this person wants to learn under you.
All right, we'll get back to that. Let's take the call. Hello, good evening to you. Good evening. All right, go on.
Yes, I want to contribute on parents assisting their children, especially the girl child, when it comes to trying to develop so many skills. During the holidays or during the period that we have now, I think the parents can engage their adult child, introduce them to different types of ways of cooking, trying to learn when it comes to doing some bakeries. Parents can do that. We can also encourage our young ones when it has things that have to do with sewing, helping them to know how to develop the skills. If you also take them, even like plaiting of hair, this can even help them, even when they get admission in the university, they can also use that to make some little money. So I think that it is the responsibility of the parents to encourage their young ones not to stay idle in this period like this. And also we can also help them, like the resource person there is talking about the research person is talking about developing a daycare center. You should also remember that there are some logistics involved in developing such centers where government comes in. So I believe that if we react with the government in issues like that, and also if we are able to make the government understand that in situations like that, that they have to assist whoever that needs their help to make it easier for them to establish such an outfit, then we are really making a headway. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for calling in. Okay, she was advocating that parents should be more responsible for providing skills for their wards, their children, especially the girl child. All right, give the calls coming in 0703-126-6597. I take that again, 0703-126-6597. Or you can also call 0809-305-7377. Okay, good evening to you.
Good evening.
What's your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Barry Brown. I'm calling from Imo State.
All right, go on.
Please, I want to really ask somebody that is good in counseling, some sort of something to be used, encouraging them.
Please, I think you need to reduce the volume of your radio set, or you move away from your radio.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I said, hello?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
It's better now.
Oh, good. I'm actually trying to know somebody that knows how to talk to youth in counseling or motivational speaking, some sort of. How can that person make ends meet from that? Number one. Two, I have a vast of land that I want to make, have a plantation there and palm nuts. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. She was actually asking of how one that actually wants to go into, let's say, someone that wants to be a presenter. Is there a presenter you talked about?
Motivational speaker.
A motivational speaker. How can the person go into that full time? And she also mentioned having plantation, how she can actually make optimal use of that. I think, Engineer, you have to do that. You said you are into training and empowerment. Perhaps you may need to give out your number so that they will call in for some more training. Okay, don't forget, if you want to get to us, you can also call 0703-126-6597. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, good evening. All right, don't forget we are streaming live on Facebook at RARDUJA. You can just like the page on Facebook, or you follow us on Twitter, or better still, hit us on the YouTube. You actually tune in to be with us. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, what's your name and where are you calling? Go on, Matthew.
Yeah, this one you people are saying we should not depend on government. Like me now, the weather. But I think the government should try to give us at least empowerment for people. There are people that will then whatever.
Okay, I think if I got you right, we didn't say you shouldn't depend on government, but what we are saying is that in the absence of that, you can actually start doing something. Any moment from now, we'll go over to our social media handle to read some messages coming from there. Hello, good evening to you.
Hello, my brother, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah, this is Chinedu. I'm calling from Umuleke in Amigo, here in one of the local government area of Imo State. You see, I think you are the guest in the studio.
Go on.
Hello?
Yeah.
Now, yes, I just came here, but I had your guest about we shouldn't depend on the government cannot do anything and stuff like that. But you see, the truth is this, that if I must be frank, my brother, you see, there is absolute cheating, total marginalization against we from this part of the world. Do you know that Bank of Industry? I know how many billions of naira.
Hello, good evening. Can you hear me? Hello. All right, we are not actually saying that you shouldn't depend on government. While the government takes time to do its own, we should also do our own bit. I think that was what Engineer Andy said. Okay, I think let me take some messages from our social media handle. Like I said, you can follow us on Facebook at RARDUJA. Okay, this one is coming from Ehiremem Evans. Ehiremem Evans, he said, you can make it anywhere. All you need is to be motivated and determined. I think that's what we're actually talking about. Good evening to you.
Why did you cut me off now? Okay.
I'm sorry, I didn't do that. Perhaps it's network.
Yes, I was trying to talk about that. I said that government has specific establishment. The government is directing this small business people here around the entrepreneurs. Bank of Industry is here. Look, I've been to the airport of this Bank of Industry in Abuja. If you go there and see the kind of people that money is flowing. People are being helped. I tell you, I know a woman 2,000 keke napep in Abuja. I know this one very well. My mother telling you story. If she is getting the money from back of industry, if Okada they buy them in thousands, they are just 3,000 people. We are part of the EMU, part of what we are talking about. The government is helping, government is working, but it's not working for us.
All right. Thank you. You've actually made your point. We have 1 minute to air your view. I think that's quite enough. At a moment from now, we'll be taking a call from the president and founder of RARDUJA International, Honorable Eddie Duru, who is in faraway Germany. He was supposed to be here with us, but for some logistics, which is not known to very many of us, he can't possibly make it. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, good evening. All right. Okay, let me continue with the messages from social media handle. This one is coming from Ngozi Ogike. Ngozi Ogike said, you can't do much on your own without financial empowerment. Mrs. Anokam, I think you can take that. She said you can't do much on your own without financial empowerment. How true is that?
Yes, you can't really do much on your own, but it all has to do with determination and the zeal. Why waiting for the government in all you want? You want to wait for the... How long would you continue to wait for the government? The little you can do that will put food, the basic things of life, that is all we want. And when you keep on waiting on the government for the basic things of life, I think we'll get it all wrong. You keep on waiting, at the end of the day, you won't get anything.
So you can't keep waiting on government either. All right, let's take this call from our president and founder. Hello, good evening to you, sir.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Good evening to you, sir.
Good evening to you. Am I right now?
Yes, you're live. Introduce yourself, please.
Okay. I can't hear myself here. That's why I'm live.
We can hear you. Please do introduce yourself, your name and where you're calling from.
Yes, my name is Honorable Eddie Duru, the president and founder of RARDUJA International. I am calling in from Germany, capital Germany, where I am also on my own quarantine and not living as it were. Nevertheless, what I would say, I want to thank my friend, I do right in a way of faith, also for me and for the whole of RARDUJA and for the whole of mankind, carrying out these all important programs today and our RARDUJA. I'm actually listening to multiple questions and contributions. I'm also going online seeing the comments of a number of Nigerians who are actually airing their views. I understand it all. I feel the way you feel, even before the crisis of COVID-19 itself, we all have a different problems. The government is already doing much. Yes, we accept more from them. I also accept more from them. It has to be the way it is. Just that what we're trying to say here is that we are working for the organization. We are working for the mass. And that is our interest. That is our competency. That is my competence. The people, the rejected, those who have no one to fix for them, those who have no one to kind of go the floor for them. So one reason that we are trying to bring down all the experiences we have to put it on the table so that you are going to make some kind of mistake that you will regret forever. And we are doing the so we are not saying the government to create the law or the government to not do what it ought to do. You have to be made how to do it. You will continue to take hard at different levels of federal and state. Make the creating that why is the creating that going on? Why is the creating that going on to the government at different levels? What does the ordinary man do? Do you sit waiting until the government takes it out? Do you sit waiting until the government answers all your needs? No! So we have to university. We have to do what we could do to be able to aggregate our own sufferings and our own problems. Then we're trying to talk about the media. If you look inward, definitely you find the opportunity. Something else I don't know, other than that, I don't know. I can tell you that many people have succeeded. But then we are also looking for sometimes also assisting many people themselves. Of course, we've done that before, and we are still going to do that many people we can.
All right, sir.
The nation is power. You need to the nation to settle yourself as a little work. So that you don't go either those guys who see or those guys who do that because you're a good place and perhaps not really do it.
All right, sir. Now,
So those are the people I want to contribute to the never doing that. And it's going to be a long time program. I'm really happy after joining us all along the way. Thank you so much for joining.
all right. Thank you very much, sir, for calling in on the program. It was really a pleasure having you here on the program, all the way from Germany. This shows the passion you have for RARDUJA International. All right, dear listeners, don't forget you can follow us on Facebook at RARDUJA. Just type RARDUJA, RARDUJA. You can follow us live there, or you can also follow some of our programs on Instagram at RARDUJA1, Twitter at RARDUJA, or you follow us on YouTube at RARDUJA International. So we are always ready to serve you better. Okay, before we take more calls, Engineer Duru, I would want you to give your final words.
What I really want to say is this: it's time youths begin to go for training. And Mrs. Vera is somebody I envy so much, because I see her doing several things. But as I spoke with her, I discovered that youths are not ready to go for such training. Okay? Now, if they can go for such training, they will be empowered. They will have this skill to begin to do something for themselves. I just want to also conclude to let you know that this program, just like you said, is online, okay? And we are giving out recharge cards, okay? So if you go to our online our YouTube page now, you will see a video there called episode 1. Just watch that video. Towards the end of the video, you will see questions, I think about 3 questions. Answer those questions either on our platform, Facebook at RARDUJA, or on our YouTube page, RARDUJA International. Okay, you stand to a chance to win recharge cards. So just go watch the video episode 1 and answer the questions, and we are giving away several recharge cards.
All right, just go on and answer the questions there on YouTube and stand a chance of winning recharge card. Let's take this call before we go to Mrs. Anukam. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, good evening. All right, I guess he's having some network challenge there. So, Ms. Anukam, he mentioned a lot of things, and you also talked about a myriad of opportunities facing the Nigerian youth. But the question has always remained one: we cannot actually start with nothing. But I always believe that one can start with even nothing, especially on the area of agriculture that Engineer Duru talked about. So, do you think there are businesses one can start with next to nothing? But before you do that, let's take this call. Hello, good evening to you. Hello, good evening. All right, sorry, we can't continue to have that. So go on. So what business opportunities or what skills you think one can actually go into without much financial assistance?
Yes, like my colleague do said, he said you need little or nothing to start making earnings. Like when you check the household consumables, these are things you can, they are inevitable. Both the rich, the poor will use liquid soap. The rich and the poor will use disinfectant. So these are little products you can do on your own. You distribute to neighbors. You make your little sales. You make your little income. At least you know, yes, you are sure of having 3 square meals on your table. It is not seasonal. These are things. Baking is not seasonal. At every given point, one must eat.
Okay, thank you very much. I think that's the much we can have from you. A lot of calls still coming in and messages on our social media platform. I guess we'll go on to reply some of those messages as we can continue to have them. Don't forget, you've been on to an hour with RARDUJA at Orient 94.5 FM. In the studio with me, I've had the National Advisor of RARDUJA International here in Nigeria, Engineer Andy Duru. Engineer Andy Duru, please, your final words to our wonderful listeners out there.
Dear listeners, there's always room for you. We have a large population here in Nigeria. Just start doing something. Don't always wait for the government. Like my president and founder said, how long are you going to wait for the government? So start doing something. Go for training, get a skill, and then start something. You find out that with time you will grow. The problem I have with so many youths now is that they want to make quick money in a very short while. It doesn't work that way.
All right, thank you very much. It doesn't work that way. A lot of people wanting to make quick wealth. You can actually make it gradually. Mr. Anukam, you've said your last word as regards the things one can actually do within this COVID-19 pandemic. There are other things you would like to add? Just say bye. Your final words now as a way of, how will I say, your parting speech.
Well, you check for those things you know you have flair for, things you know you have passion for, and checking the environment. You know the environment you find yourself. You go around the environment, you check what can be done, what can I do for me to sell myself in a particular terrain I find myself. So from there you get the inspiration, and God will give you that wisdom to be able to lay your hands on something. Thank you.
Yeah, God will give you the wisdom to lay your hands on something. So think inwardly, and while you think of what to do or plan on what to do, always remember to stay safe. The COVID-19 pandemic is real, and is giving its previous blow across the globe. So stay safe, and of course ensure social distancing. Wash your hands always, and use alcohol-based sanitizer. Don't forget, you've been listening to An Hour with RARDUJA, which comes up to you on Mondays, 5:05 p.m. So we'll meet you again, same time, same station next week. My name is Eustace Okere. Thank you very much for listening.
RARDUJA, RARDUJA, for Africa, for Africa. I've got dreams and goals to shape lives and homes, re-educate the world. I am RARDUJA, called to renew minds, motivate our kind, by the grace of God. I am RARDUJA, RARDUJA for you, RARDUJA for me, Africa for all, one big family. RARDUJA for you, RARDUJA for me, Africa for all, the happy of the earth. Faith so strong, we can change the world with a joyous heart. I am RARDUJA, to renew our minds by the grace of God, motivate our kind. I am RARDUJA, RARDUJA for you, RARDUJA for me, Africa for all, one big family. RARDUJA for you, RARDUJA for me, Africa for all, happy of the earth. RARDUJA. Africa, we say no to unplanned journey abroad. There's no place like home. Self-induced slavery must stop. Africa, say no to illegal travel. Say no, say no, say no. Say no to unplanned migration. Africa, yeah. Say no to illegal travel. Says RARDUJA, yeah. Say no to unplanned migration. RARDUJA for you, RARDUJA for me, Africa for all, one big family. RARDUJA for you, RARDUJA for me, Africa for all, the happy of the earth. RARDUJA.
In the heart of the eastern heartland comes a station that puts minds on the faces of the people. A station so strong and clear, a station so good and lovely. Oh, listen to Orate 94.5, the clearest voice east of the Niger.